Hello, I'm Jean Maguire. Today, to talk about more children of the Dwyer family. Hello, I'm Mary Ellen. I was born to Michael Dunn and Catherine Dolby in 1817 in Limerick, Ireland. I owned quite a bit of land before I purchased there, before and after my marriage. I married Patrick Dwyer in 1833. He was born to Patrick Dwyer and Judith Murphy in 1867 in Tipperary, Ireland. We had 15 children, and I was pregnant most of my life. My husband worked as a laborer in the gasworks and as a bricklayer. He joined the Royal Irish Army 18th Regiment of Foot and received a pension of land. His duties were to maintain order, maintaining supplies, defending fortifications, and supporting administration. He was wounded and hospitalized. After his service, we farmed the land we had received for his service, and we added it to our other parcels, and we had a large farm where I gathered, gardened, and canned produce. The children helped us out on the farm. Patrick died in 1971 in Waterford, Ireland, at the age of 67, and buried in Stratford. And I passed in 1886 in Tipperary at the age of 69, a widow for 15 years, and buried next to my husband. Hello, I married McGrath McGaffney. I was born to Patrick McGrath and Michelle O'Rourke in 1744 in Meath, Ireland. I married James Gaffney about 1749 in Ireland. He was born to John Gaffney and Rose O'Donnell in 1745 in Meath. Our daughter Mary was born in 1770. James worked on farm on land we both owned as a carpenter building our house, and as a lawyer he incurred some debt while going to law school, but was able to pay it back with proceeds from the farm. He was a Freemason. James had a long list of people he defended from charges of drunkenness, graffiti, assault, and default on loans. He was my champion when I was assaulted, and he went up against a man who assaulted me and threw him in prison. Prisons were unsanitary and overcrowded. Those who had to pay debts were incarcerated until they could pay them. Prisoners had to pay for sleep and place to sleep and food. James was convicted of assault in 1805 and had spent a short time in prison. I think he hung around those criminals too much. Upon his release, he went back to farming on a combined farm, and it increased. And weakened by the prison stay, James died in 1805 and is buried in Meath. I passed in 1816, a widow for 11 years, age of 72, and I'm buried with my husband. Hello, I'm Amanda. I was born to Alfred Eckerborn and Ernest D. Pritchard in Iowa in 1882. I married Kenneth Mathieson in 1902 and divorced him in 1907. I worked as a clerk. I worked in a hotel and restaurant business and was part of their association. I belonged to the Women of Woodcraft and Auxiliary Order of Railroad Conductors. I married Robert Kellner in 1944 in Nevada. Robert was born to John Kellner and Esther Fowler in 1879 in New York. Ken was a tailor and a railroad conductor and served in the Spanish-American War and World War I. Robert died in 54, widower for 8 years in Utah, and buried at Salt Lake at the age of 74. And I died in Utah in 1946 at the age of 63 in Salt Lake, and I'm buried with my husband. If you'd like me to talk in Zoom or in person, and talk like this one to your club or organization, you can contact me at jean@mylegacywomen.com, and please like and share this video. Thank you.